Hey everyone, so we're going to continue with the idea of circle sector. So I think of circle sector as an entire pizza slice, so the entire slice. It's a piece, or a part or a piece of the entire pizza. So it is a part of a whole pizza pie, let's say. That's really important for us to know because you're going to be setting up proportions in order to solve for the circle sector area with this relationship. Remember that the sector is a part of the whole pizza pie or the whole circle. So that's the key to what we're going to do. So since a sector is a part of the entire circle, we're going to create proportions in the form of part over whole. So if the sector is a part of the whole circle, then it makes sense that the whole circle area would be in the denominator. And remember that circle area is pi r squared. And I then need another proportion that also follows the same thing, part to whole. 360 degrees is the entire circle all the way around. Arc degree measure is like the little piece, like the corner of your pizza slice. So arc degree measure in terms of our pizza slice here would be whatever this angle right here is equal to, right? Because that's a piece of the entire circle, and the entire circle is 360. So this formula right here is super important to commit to memory. So I'm going to pause here. I want you to write it down somewhere because you are going to need this formula for the practice problems that you're going to do. Okay, so remember it's part to whole. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use, giving you the formula here, use a diagram below to fill out a proportion to find the area of the shaded sector. So we're trying to figure out the blue sector. So I'm going to do arc degree first, and it looks like the arc degree is this degree right here, 135. So the first proportion is going to start off 135 over 360. I think this is the easiest of the proportions to do. Now, we are looking, we don't know the area of the shaded sector. So when I don't know something and when I'm looking for it, I'm going to use a variable. So in this case, I'm going to use x because I'm looking for it. So I've done this part. This was easy because that's always the same. The sector area is what I'm looking for, so I did that. I now need to do the circle area. Remember that circle area is a formula. Its area is pi r squared. Luckily for us, it looks like we know what radius is equal to. Radius is equal to 14. So what I want to do from here is now I want to actually find the area. So I'm going to do the area of the circle is pi 14 squared. 14 squared is 196 pi. So 196 pi is what goes down here. So now I have also figured out the circle area. From this point right here, then I could continue solving. So just make sure that you follow this little formula right here, and then make your proportions out in order to solve. And that's what we're going to do in the very next problem. Thought I had some here. Let me just double check. Oops, I guess I deleted these. So let's actually solve this. Okay, let's actually solve this from here. So I'm going to duplicate this and actually solve from here, okay? So now if I wanted to go through and solve, I'm going to kind of erase some of this mess right here. Thought it was a little bit more prepared. Guess it was not. It's also almost 11 p.m., so we're not going to sweat it. Okay, here we go. From this point, once you have your proportions filled out. I don't know if you remember this from Algebra 1, but you cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply these two together, and then I'm going to multiply these two together. So that's something that you did in Algebra 1 when you created proportions. So 360 times x is just 360x. And then I'm going to do 135 times 196 pi. So the way that I do that is I do 135 times 196. And that's a really big number. It's 26,460 pi. So you multiply the regular numbers together and then you just put pi at the end. Remember that we are solving for x. We're looking for x, right? That's what we're looking for, which means that I'm going to divide both sides by 360 so that I can cancel this out right here. And then I'm going to divide this side by 360. And so now I get x is equal to, and I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm just going to divide the regular numbers together and put pi at the end. And when I divide 26,460 by 360, I get 73.5, and then I leave pi, and this is my final answer. And it makes sense because if my area is 196 pi, 73.5 pi is smaller and therefore it would be a piece of the entire area. Okay, so remember with proportions, you cross multiply, and now it's time to try a couple of these problems on your own.